When your client pushes back on AI, what do you actually think? Not what you say in the session, what you think. Are you hoping they'll come around? Quietly agreeing it's overhyped? Sitting on a position about whether AI is right for their work? Because whatever you're holding, it's in the room. And if you're holding advocacy, even quiet advocacy, the three moves you just learned become manipulation techniques. You're no longer the intervention. You're another voice with an agenda. This video turns the lens on you. That's uncomfortable on purpose, so don't move past it too fast. Your unspoken position shapes every question you ask, every silence you hold, every reflection you offer. The room holds everything, including what you haven't said aloud. A client in threat mode is exquisitely sensitive to incoming agendas. So if you walk in hoping for adoption, the client reads it, not from your words, from the shape of your attention. The coaching container takes the hit. Name the specific pull because you've now got 4 modules of framework behind you. You know the 5 layers, the threat signals, 3 sets of coaching moves. And all of that knowledge creates gravity toward a right answer. To someone who understands the trap, that right answer looks a lot like AI adoption. Structure is useful, but structure creates momentum, and momentum can become a conclusion before the client has had a chance to think. Coaches are not immune. Expertise creates its own gravity. This is your own version of the conclusion arriving first. Recognizing it is the first move toward neutrality. So, let me state the coaching stance plainly. No hedging. You are not an AI advocate. The goal is not for the client to adopt AI. The goal is for the client to make a real decision instead of a reactive one. Those are different goals, and the difference determines what you do in the room. Not this. Guiding the client toward adoption as the implicit destination. This. Holding space for a genuine, uncoerced decision, whatever it turns out to be. This is the ICF competency evokes awareness in practice. The coach facilitates, the coach does not direct, the client decides. Here's the principle that carries the weight of this whole module. The trap is never evaluating. Whether the client adopts AI or declines it is a separate question entirely. A client who evaluates AI honestly and says no has escaped the trap. They looked at their own threat response, tested their experience against a real frame, considered their structural constraints. They reached a conclusion from awareness, not reactivity. That is the work. A reactive no is resistance without examination, the client avoiding the question, driven by fear or habit or identity. A reflective no is a considered conclusion. They looked clearly, weighed honestly, and chose. That second one is a coaching success, which means the coach who measures success by client adoption is running the wrong metric. Adoption is an outcome that belongs to the client. It is not a coaching deliverable. The coaching metric is this. Did the evaluation happen? Did the client move from reactive to reflective? Did they make the decision from a place they couldn't have reached without the coaching? Everything after that is client autonomy. Back in Module 4, we said coaching is the ground for pre-rational resistance because the coach is the only neutral party in the ecosystem. That neutrality is the intervention. Here is the concrete test for whether you're actually holding it. Your client evaluates AI honestly and tells you they've decided it's not for their work. Do you feel satisfied, or do you feel like something went wrong? That answer tells you where your stance actually is. It's not a judgment, it's a diagnostic. If something feels wrong, that's worth examining. What were you hoping for, and where did that hope come from? So before your next session with a client navigating AI resistance, pause on one question. What outcome are you hoping for? If the honest answer is anything other than a clear-eyed decision, whatever it is, that's worth examining first before you walk into the room. This isn't a test you pass once. The coaching stance is not a setting you configure. It's something you tend. 3 questions to carry in. What outcome am I hoping for? What would it mean to me if the client said no? Am I holding space or holding a position? Now, the insight the research underneath this module keeps returning to. Every layer of the trap requires intentionality, not just access. Access opens a door. Intentionality is what walks through it. Learning requires deliberate practice, not a co-pilot license. Exploration requires protected time, not just permission. Cultural change requires real mechanisms, extended measurement windows, budgeted learning valleys, not a town hall and a slide deck. Every layer. Access never solves it. So here is where the module lands. The AI tools are necessary and insufficient. The rest is human development work. That's what coaches do, not as a pitch, as the conclusion. The tools are necessary. They open possibility and reduce friction. The work is insufficient without human development, awareness, reflection, choice. The coach holds the space where the tools meet the human doing the work. The work is human. The coach is the instrument. The client owns the outcome. That was always true. Now it's articulated.